Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
And in running back from Northern Iowa, number 31, David Johnson.
They're so excited here in Arizona to have David Johnson back. A new contract as of last night. And a new season begins. The NFL on Fox, America's Game of the Week. The Washington Redskins and the Arizona Cardinals. And hi again, everybody, alongside the Pro Bowler Chris Spielman and Shannon Fake. I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome to the NFL on Fox. The key word, new. So much new about both of these teams. Let's begin with Arizona. They have a new head coach in Steve Wilks. And, of course, they basically have a new running back after missing almost all of last year in David Johnson.
Yeah, and a nice new contract for David. I'll tell you what he brings is explosive threat everywhere as a wide receiver, as a running back. In 16, Tom, MVP season in my mind, 2,100 plus yards from scrimmage. Also 80 receptions. He's a great player, and they missed him last year a lot.
Let's talk about the Redskins. You talk about new. They brought in Adrian Peterson as their primary running back. They go out and make the trade to acquire the former Kansas City Chief and quarterback Alex Smith, and they're very excited to have him.
So we hear about Alex, what do you hear? Dunker, game manager. Not true. Last year is only second to Drew Brees in yards per attempt at 8 yards. The other thing, don't sleep on Alex. At 34 years of age, the man can still be a threat running the football.
Well, it's Smith's first start as a quarterback with the Redskins. It's also the first career start here in Arizona for Sam Bradford. For more on that, here's Shannon.
That's right, Tom. You guys just mentioned Alex Smith and all that he wants to show this season. Well, Sam Bradford wants to show that he can stay healthy. He has had a career that's been littered with injuries. Most recently, of course, last year, the knee injury that kept him on the sideline for the majority of the season. He had surgery and intensive rehab the entire offseason. He told us this. He said, if I get hurt this season, it is not because of anything I didn't do. Further evidence of how good he feels this season. There's no brace on that knee, just a compression sleeve, and that's how he's been practicing as well, Tom.
All right, Shannon, thanks so much. Arizona won the toss, elected to defer, getting the football to the second half. Jay Gruden beginning his 5th year, born in Ohio, raised in Florida, has taken to the playoffs the Redskins in 2015 in his head coaching debut for the 49-year-old Charlotte native, Steve Wilks. Week 1 underway in the desert, and this is a rookie free agent, Danny Johnson, and he brings it up to the 23-yard line. 34 years young is La Mesa, California native Alex Smith came to the Redskins in a trade from Kansas City for a 3rd-round pick, along with cornerback Kendall Fuller. And he is coming off the best season of his NFL career. First time he's eclipsed 4,000 yards in a season, threw 26 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions.
Yeah, that's why he gets that kind of that game label as a game manager, because he's smart and he makes good decisions. Now, if I'm Washington, what I do, I might run a little bit of bootleg here just to get him settled in. Even though he's 34 years old, this is a new team. The opener, you kind of let him make an easy pass.
Smith, you may remember the #1 overall pick with the 49ers in 2005. Became their starter almost immediately. He lost his job in 2012 to Colin Kaepernick, despite the fact that he had won 19 of 24 games after Jim Harbaugh took over as coach. And this is Adrian Peterson, the NFL's 12th all-time leading rusher. Today should jump into the top 10. Let's take a look at Washington on offense. They believe they have, when healthy, one of the best offensive lines in all of football. The note at the bottom, so many missed games from this group a year ago. Doctson in his 3rd year, they're hoping for a big season. They bring in Richardson Jr. from the Seahawks.
Yeah, look at Doctson. They'll probably take 2 to 4 shots down the field. Test that Cardinals secondary.
Peterson a gain of 4 on 1st down. They fake it to him. His first pass is a Redskin as they completed pass to Jordan Reed, and Reed took a big hit. Penalty flags litter the field.
It's going to be on Trey Boston, Tom.
And Coleman is our referee today.
Now he can avoid this penalty.
Foul, hit on a defenseless receiver, number 33. Defense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. First down.
He's going to come in here at the top of your screen. You can avoid this by wrapping up and removing your head from the contact area. Here's 33, Trey Boston, right there, leading with his head. Nobody likes the rule. I get it. The rule's the rule. You either change or you find a new occupation, because you won't be able to play because you're costing your team. You have to change your style. Put your head to the side and wrap up, and you're good to go.
Spot the ball at the 41-yard line this opening drive. Smith pump fakes, and he can really run it. Being chased and just throws it away. Under heavy pressure from Benson Mayowa, who's starting in place of the injured Marcus Golden. And let's look at Arizona on defense. They were pretty good last year. They think they're going to be good this year. Chandler Jones led the NFL in sacks a season ago. Linebacking core, Bayonne Buchanan, rock solid in his 5th year, former #1 pick. And they really like the secondary. The perennial Pro Bowler Patrick Peterson. They bring in Trey Boston from San Diego. Second down and 10. Peterson patiently waiting for an opening. He passes Marshall Faulk with the carry a moment ago to move into 11th place on the NFL's all-time rushing list. And he is now 27 yards away from passing Jim Brown for number 10 all-time.
You almost got the feeling like when we were talking to him yesterday, I have a point to prove. There's a lot of people out there saying I'm done. I'll show you. I'll tell you, with that handshake, he's not done. I broke my hand.
Third and 4. Great protection. Lays it off for Chris Thompson, healthy again. Boy, you talk about picking up another weapon. Thompson is among the most unheralded players in all the NFL. He was off to a fabulous start a year ago, rushing, receiving, broke his leg, and missed the rest of the year.
Well, here's why he's so good. First of all, he's checking for any blitz pickup. Now he becomes a check down receiver. But yards after contact, yards after catch. Budda Baker has a chance to get the Cardinals to 4th down. Chris Thompson, runs through that tackle, keeps the chains moving.
Let's go. Look
like movement on the offensive front.
False start, number 71. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
It's a matchup Chris will be watching all day today. Pro Bowlers Trent Williams at left tackle against Chandler Jones.
Nice job, man.
So when you lead the league in sacks and you're an offensive tackle facing Chandler Jones, understanding that he has speed, sometimes you get worried about being laid off the ball because he will put you on his highlight film in a hurry if you're late. It's a tough matchup for Andre Smith, known as a run blocker, adequate pass blocker.
First down and 15. Peterson spun down, wrapped up by Josh Bynes, the middle linebacker. Bring up second down and 15. No gain. This Arizona Cardinal team a year ago went 8-8. They have 24 new players, 16 new coaches. They're only 3 years removed from playing in an NFC Championship game, but so many names and players have changed. Catch made by Richardson, his first as a Redskin, coming off his best year in the NFL with the Seahawks a year ago, where he caught 44 passes and 6 touchdowns.
You know, the difference that Coach Wilkes is bringing into this Cardinal defense, under Arians, they love to play man-to-man and pressure. Well, Steve Wilkes is known as a zone guy. That's not just go draft him and cover dirt. No, what you do is it's a matchup zone. You cover people in your area. In fact, we talked with Patrick Peterson, number 21, the corner out here. He expects 8 interceptions this year.
Smith is wrapped up, throws it away. Is that a live ball? Are they saying that's a fumble? No, an incompleted pass. Smith able to throw it and get rid of it in time. Or are they going to say he was in the grass? That was Dayon Buchanan, who came sprinting through the middle of the formation.
That's that double A-gap scheme, Tom. If you watch the Minnesota Vikings, a lot of times you'll see Eric Kendricks and Harrison Smith up there.
Intentional grounding, number 11 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, loss of down, 4th down.
So it is a grounding penalty, which, for all intents and purposes, gets him out of field goal range.
Well, this is a great call, and you're aggressive defensively. But that double A-gap scheme, when you have two linebackers in those A-gaps, it forces the offensive line to make their protection call and go man protection. They were a guy short, which allowed Dayon Buchanan to run in there untouched. A lot of teams will do that. It's a copycat league, and certainly Steve Wilkes has introduced that to the Cardinals.
Second-round draft pick Christian Kirk out of Texas A&M. Playing in his first NFL game and another false start.
Number 57, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
That's a long snapper who grew up right here in Phoenix, Arizona. Nick Sundberg went to North Canyon High School. Welcome back home.
Christian Kirk.
Mentioned Gruden in his 5th year. That's the longest tenure under Redskins owner Daniel Snyder. Into contract extension for 3 years to Gruden. Fair catch at the 8-yard line by Kirk. So a pretty good drive. Stalls for the Redskins. Now we get a look at David Johnson. He's not played since week 1 of a year ago. Welcome back to football. Week 1 of the National Football League 2018. Mr. Spielman, it's so great to be back with you, my man.
Yeah, I'm excited about this whole opportunity and getting it going and excited. Football is the greatest game in the world. Happy to be a part of it.
And of course, here on Fox, we're celebrating our 25th anniversary of National Football League coverage and celebrating his first start as an Arizona Cardinals starting quarterback. 30-year-old Sam Bradford grew up in Oklahoma City, the #1 overall pick and Rookie of the Year in 2010 with the Rams. 2 years ago, set the single-season completion percentage mark. It has since been broken by Drew Brees. Last year had the monster week 1 with Minnesota, 3 touchdowns, 350 yards, but then got hurt the second game of the year and did not play again.
He does get rid of the ball in a hurry.
David Johnson. Big yardage up to the 20, and that'll be a first down.
Well, this offensive line is built for power. And it's a good vision by David Johnson, which makes him so effective as a back. Good job of the double team. Right there, Upati getting up to the second level on Zach Brown, number 53, 76 Upati. And look at the vision and patience of David Johnson. You know, in the first series, I've mistaken Andre Smith for Trent Williams. And that's not the case. Andre Smith, of course, is the Cardinals, known as a run blocker. Trent Williams, all-pro guy. I want to make that correction early on.
Boy, fake first throw is a Cardinal for Bradford, flushed out of the pocket, and just throws it away. The Cardinals believe, like the Redskins, that when healthy, they have a very good offensive line.
I think they do, Tom. And you know, I was talking to Steve Keim. Justin Pugh, who was with the Giants last year, played right tackle, little out of position. Mason Cole, they lost A.Q. Shipley. Mason Cole, an excellent athlete at the center position, can get up to the second level or the linebacker or safety level to get a body on somebody. Really good player in college.
They bring in an extra offensive lineman, number 73, John Wetzel, for the second down and 10. And will put it in the hands of David Johnson. And another strong run by Johnson, who broke his wrist in the season opener a year ago. That'll be a gain of 11.
Well, the Redskins need to adjust. Look, you have tight end. You got 4 guys over here. Everybody needs to be coming this way. Steve Wilkes has publicly stated, we are going to run the football. That's what we are going to do. Wetzel comes in as a tight end, and you see right there, he got a key block. Now, you don't have to blow people off the ball all the time, Sometimes you just use those big old bodies to wall off defenders. Exactly what Wetzel did.
Johnson gets a quick breather. And it will be Johnson off to the left side, but no room this time. Ziggy Hood wraps him up. Look at Washington on defense. Under Greg Minuski, allowed 134 rushing yards per game, most in the NFL. They've gone with back-to-back #1 picks out of Alabama, Allen, and then Deron Payne, their #1 pick this year. And in the secondary, still have Josh Norman back there. Dunbar now on the other side.
Well, obviously, they want to get better in their run defense. He felt they got thicker and bigger inside, which should help those linebackers, Mason Foster, Zach Brown.
Johnson touching the ball seemingly every play. Buried there by Josh Norman right at the 35-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down, and we'll see maybe 6 or 7 for the Redskins.
Well, this is Josh Norman. That's a great break on the football. Reads the quarterback, and look at the break. And I love the fact, you see how he moved his head out, but he was able to run through his target on contact. Outstanding tackle by Josh Norman. A physical corner, a rarity, but we found one in Josh Norman.
And a Pro Bowler, of course, in his days at Carolina, where he played for Steve Wilkes, now the Arizona head coach.
He tested in press coverage.
Able to get it away in time, but it looks as though Kirk is just short of a 1st down.
Well, you ideally, if you're Christian Kirk and you're working inside, they're running a bunch of little pick routes right here. You want to try to get to the 1st down marker or beyond. Again, outstanding job of open field tackling by Quentin Dunbar. So far, the corners for the Redskins have stepped up. Getting people to the ground, eliminating yards after catch.
Of course, Dunbar takes over for Breland, who was a solid player for the Redskins, but he's gone now. So the Cardinals punt it away. Andy Lee among the game's very, very best. Look at this. This guy's been doing this out of bounds into the end zone. He's as good as anybody that's ever punted this game. No score opening quarter in Arizona.
Mirror, mirror on.
Such a beautiful venue, which now has a brand new name, the State Farm Insurance Stadium. Still into triple digits on the outside, but inside, State Farm has it covered. 68 cool degrees. Second offensive series for the Redskins. They got down to the Arizona 31 before penalties and an intentional grounding call. Peterson trying to spin away from a tackle of Antoine Buffet, unable to do so, picks up maybe a yard. Jay Gruden back for his 5th year. As we mentioned, the most in the Dan Snyder ownership era. Kirk Cousins gone. Now with Minnesota. His team won earlier today. Alex Smith comes in. They brought in Peterson after they lost their top pick,
Darius Geis.
Darius Geis, to a knee injury in the first preseason game. Smith to throw it, just sitting down is Vernon Davis, and he's up to the 30-yard line. Boy, what a career it has been with Davis and for Davis. And of course, it all began with Alex Smith when the two were in San Francisco together.
Just the communication. Now watch Alex Smith. This is really a nice quality. Look at his eyes. He looks to the flare wide receiver to get the defender, moving defender with your eyes, and his trusted partner, like you said in San Francisco, now here in Washington, Vernon Davis, a guy that he can count on.
They were together from the 2006 season to the 2012 year. This is Thompson. And that'll be a gain of close to 14 yards for Chris Thompson, with the 6-time Pro Bowl left tackle Trent Williams leading the way.
And you know, I misspoke, and here, watch Trent Williams right here. This is why he's an all-pro. This is why they love to have him back on the field. Now, this is against Dayon Buchanan. Finishing the block downfield, and Chris Thompson making one cut and going north and south. Still not 100% with that right leg injury from last year.
He is some kind of player. He was leading the team in rushing and receiving yards last year before he had the broken leg. That's Thompson in motion. And incomplete. With an eye on Jamison Crowder. Took a hit from Trey Boston to Alex Smith.
Well, it's clear that the Cardinals are not going to be passive, especially on first down. We're looking at the defensive fronts. Al Holcomb, the defense coordinator, Steve Wilks right there, working hand in hand. They're playing a lot of 8- and 9-man fronts. They're really daring Alex Smith to take a shot deep. So that's something we want to look for as the game goes on. And they will go to Josh Doctson right up here if they need it.
It's Richardson Jr. in motion, and they run it. And this is Thompson for a big gain. Touchdown saving tackle by Rudy Ford as Thompson is inside the 45. That'll be a gain of 14.
Well, they're right here isolating on Dayon Buchanan. Now they're a gap short. As you're going to see Boston come out, you get a free run at Dayon Buchanan as an offensive guard. And again, you don't have to knock the guy out. What you have to do is use that big old body basketball screen, and he's off and running. If Dayon Buchanan has one problem, Tom, he ducks his head and loses vision of the ball carrier by giving 1-for-1. Never do that.
Thompson 2 rushes for 27 yards. Back in the hands of Peterson. How about the moves right there by Peterson, and now the power. And he's down to the 30-yard line. That'll be another gain of 14 yards. He ran right through a would-be tackle by Patrick Peterson.
Well, the ability at 33 years of age to stop and start, and exactly what Adrian Peterson does right here. See that little jump step? Then the power to run through guys. Man on a mission, a point to prove. But still, the acceleration and the jump stop, then the restart.
Last 4 plays, they've had rushes of 13, 14, and 13, along with an incompletion. Peterson still on his feet. Inside the 25, down to the 22 for more on Adrian Peterson. Here's Shannon Spake.
Well, Tom, you know, he told us this week that there was no question in his mind that he would not be back on this football field this season. He said, stay ready to be ready. And when he showed up at the Redskins, Coach Gruden told us what? He said he's put some of the 20-something-year-olds to shame out there with his physicality, and we've already seen that so far.
Well, you're not lying. It's just extraordinary, the condition this Adrian Peterson is in. You can't believe it when he walks in a room.
Well, he's got a pretty good offensive front, which Jay Gruden called the best in the NFL and all healthy.
Peterson again and trying to get to first down marker at the 20. He is just short. Bynes on the stop, brings up a 3rd down. And about 2. Make it a long 1.
So you know on defense, you're going to probably get some type of blitz the way Steve Wilks is calling the game. And the other thing, when you look at this, you're going to get man coverage. So if you feel like you want to take a little shot at the play action, that's not bad right now. It really isn't, because you have an opportunity, because everybody's thinking run with the success that you've had. Taking a minute to think about it with Alex Smith.
So the Redskins will spend a timeout before this 3rd down and a yard.
Team timeout.
First big play, and this one coming up when we return. Grand Canyon State of Arizona. Spectacular beauty here. And welcome back to State Farm Stadium. Rob Kelly checks into the backfield for the first time. Adrian Peterson is also back there. In the I formation on a 3rd down and a yard. And they pitch it to Peterson. He'll turn the corner. Steps inside the 15 and barrels his way to the 14. That'll be a first down. Game break time. Let's check in with your good friend and mine, Carissa Thompson. Hi, Carissa.
Hello, Tom. Always a pleasure. Seattle up 7-0. New Broncos quarterback Case Keenum finds rookie running back Philip Lindsay for this 29-yard reception. We're all tied up in Denver. Tom, Chris, and Shannon.
All righty, Carissa, thank you very much. They spot the ball just outside the 13. First down, Washington in a scoreless game. Under 25 seconds to play in the opening quarter. 10th play of this drive. They put it again in the hands of Peterson. And back to the line of scrimmage, which should be the final play of this opening quarter. A scoreless opening quarter, although Chris, quickly, the Redskins on offense have looked very good.
Well, they're able to establish a run in the line of scrimmage right now, and that offensive line as good as advertised.
105 total yards for Jay Gruden's Redskins, only 32 for Arizona. Second quarter when we come back. 33-year-old out of Palestine, Texas, Adrian Peterson, and last carry etches himself into the NFL's top 10 all-time in rushing yards, unbelievably passing the man many believes the greatest running back to ever play in Jim Brown.
Same thing with Jim Brown and Adrian Peterson. He had a chance to go out of bounds. Nothing to him going out of bounds. He's not going out of bounds.
Second down and 10. Drive that began at the Washington 20. Smith dumps it off to Thompson, sniffing the end zone. And a touchdown for the Washington Redskins. '80-yard drive, 11 plays, and the Redskins on the board in the desert.
Game's about matchups. I can get Thompson on coverage with the linebacker and Dayon Buchanan. He runs a little in and out route. Alex Smith puts the ball right where he wants to put it. Look, he does not have to stop. It's an easy transition from catch to run because of the accurate ball by Alex Smith. Matchups, Tom. Get him on linebackers. He'll eat them up all day.
Especially Thompson, such a dynamic player in his 5th season out of Florida State. Here's a point after. High snap. But a nice job by Tressway, the holder, to put it down for Dustin Hopkins. Thompson healthy again. And the Redskins on the board first. What an impressive drive for the Redskins. Now 53 straight games scoring a touchdown. It's tied with the Raiders, who will play tomorrow night. Of course, the Raiders are now coached by
John Gruden. Yes.
Jay Gruden's brother. How about that?
I'm sure they share a lot of info. Very competitive guys, both of them. And look at this offense. Chris Thompson, Jay right there, was concerned about the timing with Chris Thompson and Jordan Reed. Looked good to me.
Blasted through the back of the end zone. And before the Cardinals get it back with Sam Bradford and company taking the field, let's check in with Carissa.
Thanks, Tom. So we go to Cleveland. Steelers driving in OT. Ben Roethlisberger hit from behind, intercepted. And a few plays later, the Browns have a chance to win their first game since 2016. But oh, wait, it's blocked. We end in a tie, Tom, for the first time since 1971, week 1.
Chris Spielman, you grew up in Massillon, Ohio. The Brownies have been your team.
It almost seems we'd had the Green Bay game last year in Cleveland.
Right.
Goes to overtime. They had that game won and found a way not to close the deal. They just got to get over that hump. I don't know if they ever will. It's a great opportunity against a rival today. Can get it done.
First down throw, and the first catch of this season for the ageless one, the seemingly ageless one, Larry Fitzgerald. Of course, here in Arizona, it's all about the new coach, the new quarterback. Bruce Arians out, Carson Palmer out, Steve Wilkes, Sam Bradford in. Josh Rosen, they took him out of UCLA. They believe the quarterback of the future. And of course, David Johnson, the big story, broke his wrist week 1 last year and now healthy again. Fitzgerald, by the way, now a catch in 212 straight games.
What do you want?
Not played a game going all the way back in 2004 where he did not have a reception. It's already 6 touches today for Johnson. This one back to the line of scrimmage. Zach Brown, a guy you've always really liked.
I do. And right there, Zach Brown just ran past the offensive guard, Justin Pugh. And that's what I was talking about, not giving 1 for 1. He actually was able to avoid the blocker and make a tackle, just not hitting the blocker and watching the running back run past him. He's instinctive and he makes plays. That's why I've always liked Zach Brown.
Native of Columbia, Maryland. He'll check out on his 3rd down and 7.
Come on, come on.
Blitz coming. Bradford able to get it away. Thrown into double coverage, and it's batted away by D.J. Swearinger. the vocal leader of this Redskins defense, and it's 3 and out for Bradford.
Well, you have to be able to cover if you're bringing pressure. Pressure was coming off the far end. You're seeing the route right here, disrupting Fitzgerald's. And Swearinger shows great discipline right there. He could have put the left hand on the back. You see him keep that left hand out of there? He comes across and swats away. Well done by Swearinger.
Big punt here by Andy Lee, driving Trey Quinn, the rookie, back to the 15. Boy, Quinn's a great story. Just so excited. Mr. Irrelevant, the 250. Washington very impressive on offense in the opening stanza. Now remember, their first drive got all the way down to the 31-yard line before they had an intentional grounding call and backed them up out of field goal range, and then they go straight down the field. 11 plays, 80 yards, and a touchdown pass to Thompson. Faking one way and Smith rolling the other. Very good runner, always has been, going back to his days under Urban Meyer when Meyer was at Utah.
Absolutely, and I like the decision making here by Alex Smith. Nothing open downfield. Get positive yards and protect yourself. That's why he's always in single-digit interceptions, because of his decision making. Good coverage by the Cardinals, but you go with that type of play, you want to get somebody over aggressive on that defensive line. Gave up the corner. You're sitting there on a 5-yard gain at 2nd and 5.
Worse.
Sort of a read option there, and it did not fool Arizona defensively. Antoine Bethea, Pro Bowl safety, up to make the tackle.
Well, the Cardinals prepared for this. I asked, you have the read option, you guys ready, or zone read, you got it ready? So that means one guy has the quarterback. You do not chase Adrian Peterson, but they right there stays his discipline, does his job, goes right to the quarterback off the zone read look, and gets a TFL. That's disciplined football, and that's prepared football by Al Holcomb, the defensive coordinator. Well done.
Third down and 7. And just a little shovel pass to Thompson. Cuts it back to the inside and has a first down to the 40-yard line.
Little guys get lost. Little guys get lost. You have all the receivers over to the offensive left. Everybody's over here. Now watch this. On the snap, he's going to kind of sneak here, hide behind all those big fellas up front. And again, Alex Smith does a great job of moving defenders with his eyes. Flicks it to Chris Thompson in the open field. Is this, when you look at Alex Smith, right? Just smart, tough.
No question.
Makes good decisions and uses everything he has in his arsenal, including his eyes, to move defenders.
Well, the older he gets, seemingly the better he gets. And they hand it off this time to Rob Kelly, his first carry. People forget 2 years ago, Rob Kelly was a guy who led the Redskins in rushing.
He's a great story. And lost about 18 pounds since he came from Tulane and had that nickname as Fat Rob. Now he's Slim Rob.
I've gone the other way. Most of us have. Back to Kelly, spun down. Good tackle by Boston. It'll bring up third down. But you look at Alex Smith, and we mentioned, his record as a starter: 88 wins, 62 losses, and over the last 5 years in Kansas City, he took the Chiefs to the playoffs 4 out of the 5 years. He finds a way to help his team win games.
That's what a good quarterback does. And he will take deep shots. Remember, second only to Drew Brees in yards per attempt last year.
They converted third down and 7 a moment ago. Now 3rd and 4. And a quick strike to Thompson and dragged down very close to the first down. What an outstanding tackle made by Jamar Taylor.
It's actually a good read by Jamar Taylor. They're in a 2-deep look. Jamar Taylor reads Alex Smith's eyes. He's going to vacate Paul Richardson, and watch the break on the football right there, and does a good job of wrapping up, keeping Chris Thompson short of the first down. Excellent break on the football by Jamar Taylor. They hope they found their corner to play opposite Patrick Peterson.
I tell you, here's one of the things, whether you're a big Jay Gruden fan or not, this is one of the things I've always loved about Gruden. He's not afraid to go for it. He's going on 4th down and less than a yard at midfield.
And you always have to be alert of the hard count on defense. Don't jump off sides.
Smith. It looks like that second push is enough for a first down for Alex Smith, although the Cardinals are saying the ball's the other way, that he fumbled the ball.
Roulier at center, Sheriff guard, Laval guard. Those guys are powerful guys. Guard, center guards, they love that type of situation because it's man on man and it's not going up against speed or anything like that. It's going up against power, and that's a lot of trust in Jay Gruden on those 3 individuals right there. The interior offensive lineman for the Washington Redskins.
Well, there comes the measurement, and it will be enough. It's a first down for the Redskins on a 4th down and a yard by the length of the football. First and 10 from the 49. Smith replacing Kirk Cousins. Cousins going on single-year contracts, franchise tag each of the last 3 years. Threw for over 4,000 yards every year and 71 touchdowns. But there does seem to be a little different vibe about this Redskins team with Alex Smith here. How that plays out, we'll find out. Looks one way, spins, and throws. Boy, that is quarterback play 101 right there on multiple levels, and Jordan Reed inside the 30.
Well, first of all, it's the patience right here of Alex Smith. They try to hit a quick screen off the play action right here. Nothing there. And again, there's no lack of patience. He could have tucked it and run that football, but he trusts that Jordan Reed's going to always work back to the ball, and you see Trent Williams working on Chandler Jones. That's a battle and a matchup that I was so excited to talk about the first series. Didn't happen until the second series.
Peterson cuts it back to the inside. Pretty good pickup down to the 22-yard line.
Well, they are just winning at the line of scrimmage. I mean, if you're the Cardinals, you understand. They're telling you, we're running the football. We're taking the fight to you. And right now, the guys in the red jerseys, there's really not a lot they can do about it to stop it.
Well, they're closing in on 90 rushing yards. This is a 10th play of this drive. They've had an 8-play drive, an 11-play drive, and now the 10th on this drive.
Let's 20.
Smith to run it and slides to the 15. That is another first down. Coming up Saturday, the college game, part 1. Who could ever forget? Vince Young dazzled at the Rose Bowl, part 2, the double overtime thriller, and now the trilogy, 8 Eastern on Fox. And the Fox Sports app, number 17, USC against Texas.
Another strength of Alex Smith on that last play. Take a throwing lane and turn it into a running lane without hesitation.
Peterson. Red head on at the line of scrimmage. Maybe picks up 2.
All these first down runs. As a defender, you're thinking, okay, I'm all geared up for the run. It's first down. They've had success. Darn it, they're not running on me. Then that guy right there, he's going to say, let's hit him with a little play action on him. We're going to see that coming up in a few series before this half is over. If they ever give the ball up or get the ball back again.
They only have 1 reception by their wide receivers. That was a 5-yard catch by Richardson. They've had Reed, the tight end, with 2, Thompson out of the backfield with 4, and Vernon Davis, the tight end, with 1. But they've been running at will. And there's a wide receiver on the reception. Their top receiver the last 3 years in Jamison Crowder.
He's so dangerous, Tom, from that slot position. And when we talk about game of matchups, I'm having Dayon Buchanan, a linebacker, coming out here on Crowder. He's got no shot. Just a little hesitation. He has no shot to cover him in space. You have to go down if you want to help him and disrupt the release of the wide receiver at the line of scrimmage, because you can't ask Dayon Buchanan to cover Jamison Crowder.
Peterson takes a handoff, and he's down inside the 2-yard line.
My boy Brandon Sheriff was pulling from the right to the left, and he got there so fast he didn't hit anybody. Watch this now. This is, you won't see this often from 75. He's sitting back, that should be a lead, but when he pulls around, he almost runs through everybody. Like there's a giant hole there, he's got nobody to hit.
Second down and goal. 14th play of the drive, and Peterson sniffing the end zone, and is short of the goal line. I think they had already blown the whistle. Led by Bynes. Yep, forward progress. It'll be third down and goal.
Yeah, Josh Bynes, I salute you, because you have one of the strongest human beings in the running back in Adrian Peterson. He's running at you, and you catch him. This is a beautiful job, Josh Bynes. You get some help from Buchanan right there, but Bynes made the initial contact and stopped Adrian Peterson's feet on contact. Well done, Josh Bynes.
Redskins bring in a backup linebacker, Ryan Anderson, and put him in front in the I formation of Peterson. Touchdown, Adrian Peterson. He finished his season in Arizona a year ago, and it ended early because of a severe neck injury. He was signed very late and has 53 rushing yards here in the first half, and now a touchdown.
See, all this, he should never be able to run untouched. You got to create a pile, and if anything, on an inside goal line running play, you have to make him go over the top. And right there, I think Kandichi, number 90, got driven down inside, provided a little bit of a cutback lane. Boy, it's almost odd seeing him with that number 26 on. I almost said for number 28. But
well,
no,
that's his 100th career rushing touchdown. He's already passed Jim Brown on the all-time rushing list. And now he ties Sean Alexander and Marshall Faulk for the 7th most rushing touchdowns in league history. What a start for Adrian Peterson after being signed very late by the Redskins. Now in the top 10 all-time in rushing yards, passing Marshall Faulk and Jim Brown today, and now that touchdown, an even 100 of those for the future Hall of Famer. Of course, we've got a couple of those out on the field here today, being Larry Fitzgerald of these Arizona Cardinals. Both Peterson and Fitzgerald led pipe cinches to be first ballot Hall of Famers. When you talk about a pro's pro, I'm not sure there's any player in the league we enjoy being around more than Fitzgerald. What a winner. Went to Finland, went to Iceland, did some dog sledding, some diving, a little bit of hiking. And of course, just recently at the end of August, he was asked to deliver a speech at the funeral of American hero and longtime senator from here in Arizona, John McCain. And Cindy McCain, one of the captains today for the Arizona Cardinals franchise. Sort of delighted to have her, and certainly our thoughts and prayers are with the entire family. Larry said of all the things he's ever been asked to do, it was the greatest honor he's ever had to speak at John McCain's funeral, and safe to say that Senator McCain is dialed in up in heaven above watching this one today, probably flipping back and forth between the Cardinals and the Arizona Diamondbacks.
I would say Senator McCain is probably saying, let's run the ball and throw the ball down the field. All we're doing so far since we've had this football is our longest pass attempt has been 8 yards. So what that does, it brings the defense to play within 8 yards of the line of scrimmage. Eventually, you've got to start taking some shots to loosen those guys up in the back end for the Redskins.
Fitzgerald so far today has just one catch for 3 yards. It's been a grand total of 11 passing yards for the Cardinals through nearly an entire half of football. And that nearly picked off. A late break. And what a play made defensively right there by Quentin Dunbar. Here's Shannon.
Yeah, Tom, more on McCain and Fitzgerald. You know, the touching thing, Fitzgerald, he actually went to Vietnam, and he went into the jail cell where Senator McCain was held for 5.5 years. Said he talked his way in there to be able to see where his friend stayed. So certainly a touching moment today with Cindy McCain and Larry Fitzgerald on the field.
Yeah, that was great. And you see that, talking about throwing downfield, see how fast Dunbar broke on that ball? Because nobody's being threatened down the field.
Third down and 10. And Bradford steps up, just dumps it off to Johnson out of the backfield, and swarming Washington defense.
That's an easy defensive play because you have 7 guys dropping to the sticks and beyond. And Washington and Greg Minuski, the defensive coordinator, are doing a good job of not covering just an area. They're getting to their zones, jumping men in their zones, not allowing an open receiver, forcing Bradford to check it down, and good swarming defense, as you said.
All right, so the Redskins are going to get it back one more time before the half. We're closing in on the 3:20 mark. What a punt by Lee. Backed up is Quinn inside the 20. And there is a penalty flag back at the 35-yard line.
During the kick, holding, number 20, return team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
It's Rob Kelly. Redskins have the ball inside the 15 when we come back. First start for each quarterback with their respective team, and it's been a very good start for Alex Smith.
Well, it helps Alex to have that run game going, obviously, for any quarterback. You know, the Cardinals now, you think about it, you really do need to do something on defense to help your offense. You have to get off the field on third down, stop the run, or create some type of turnover because you do have the Redskins pinned back.
This drive starts from their own 8-yard line. Redskins have 2 timeouts, 3:18 to go. They put it in space to Thompson, and that's a way to get out from deep in your own territory. Just can't say it enough. This guy is such a good player. When he is healthy and all the injuries through Florida State that he's overcome, when you put the ball in this guy's hands, this guy's a player.
Yeah, and how about the 1-2 punch? Now this is easy because they have 2 guys to block a hat on a hat, and Chris Thompson isn't touched, Tom, until he's 10 yards down the field. He is a valuable weapon. Believe me, Jay Gruden understands the value of this football team and understands what it is to get the ball to him in space.
Got Vernon Davis out there blocking along with Morgan Moses, a right tackle. And that's Richardson Jr., his second catch. And that's a significant pickup as we close in on the 2:30 mark.
The Cardinals offense had a look at the Redskins playbook and seeing how they're putting Chris Thompson in the slot, getting him the ball in space, and see if you can start getting him going that way. It's a copycat league.
Smith has hit on 7 straight pass attempts, 11 of 14 for 124 yards and a touchdown to Thompson. And they come the other way. And this is Adrian Peterson lowering his shoulder and into Cardinal territory to the 45, and that takes us to the 2-minute warning. A homecoming for Adrian Peterson, and he has looked strong along with his Redskin mates. Getting it done year after year after year after year. 25 years the NFL on Fox we celebrate this year. This will be the 38th offensive play of the game for Washington. Arizona's run 13 plays. First down from the 44. Smith, quick throw. And that's Jordan Reed, cuts it back to the inside. He's to the 38. Let's check in back in Hollywood for a quick game break.
Thanks, Tom. So we were scoreless in the second quarter, and new offensive coordinator Norv Turner said he was going to allow Cam Newton to run more. That worked out well right there. Cam Newton doing his thing, got his team up 7-0. Second quarter, it's all yours, Tom.
All righty, Carissa, thank you very much. 1:27 to play. Pump fake, Richardson trying to sneak it back to the inside. Good enough for a first down. He's to the 32. And this building, which is one of the loudest in the NFL, is nearly silent, as the Cardinals have been, at least for the first half of this game. They have been completely dominated by the visiting Redskins.
Jay Gruden was so concerned about the noise in this building that during the week they worked on a silent count. They've got it going right now. I can hear Alex Smith from here.
5-7 West.
Quick throw. Again, it's Jamison Crowder, and he's to the 27-yard line, and that brings us to 43 seconds. A timeout called by Washington. And we'll be right back after this message from our friends at Verizon.
Hey, what do you guys want to listen to?
Oh, hip-hop, reggaeton.
EDM.
What
about bubble trance? Bubble what? Bubble trance. It's a thing. Oh. My point is, everyone's got different tastes. That's why Verizon lets you mix and match your family unlimited plans, so everyone gets the plan they want without paying for things they don't. And right now, the whole family gets 6 months of free Apple Music on Verizon. Oh. So let's play that reggaeton. Old school reggaeton, not the new stuff.
Get 45 million songs with 6 months free Apple Music on us, only on Verizon. Switch now and get a free Samsung Galaxy J3V.
Alex Smith in his Redskins debut. How impressive has he been? He's hit on his last 13. Overall, 15 of 18, 158 yards and a touchdown, and they're pointing on each side of the football down there. Morgan Moses and Benson Mayowa.
Mayowa.
Neutral zone infraction. Number 91, defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And that's an automatic first down with that 5-yard penalty.
One thing he came in and started preaching about, avoiding pre and post snap penalties. Carolina led the league in that last year. Right there was a pre-snap penalty on the Cardinals that was costly.
So now the Redskins just outside the 20 from the 21-yard line. Trying to make it a 3-touchdown lead before the half. Crowder met head-on just as he made the catch, but there is a penalty flag in the secondary right around the 9-yard line, which generally is bad news for the defense.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
We're thinking this might be Buda Baker. No number was given. Baker, number 36 in a slot.
Number 36.
Yep, just confirmed that.
Right there, you don't need to grab and hold. Understand where your contact limits are. Yardage allowed. Young player, very good player, active player. Move him all around.
They have Thompson at the top of your screen. And down goes Smith. The Redskins probably going to have to spend a timeout, and then a penalty flag comes in. Well, you and I were watching a lot of games early today, and there were a lot of penalties thrown on defensive players tackling the quarterback, and quite frankly, you and I were looking at each other multiple times going, what's the guy supposed to do?
Yeah, this is going to be on Chandler Jones right here. I believe he's going to come in late. Actually, in our one-on-one matchup, Trent Williams is beat by Chandler Jones, forcing Alex Smith.
Roughness, number 55, defense, half the distance to the goal, first down.
To pull the ball down, and that was caught a break. And here comes a penalty late right there. Mayo came in and touched him down. Then watch Chandler Jones come on the top. I mean, that's frustration. Boy. And again, it's opposite of what Steve Wilks has been preaching to this football team. We had a pre-snap penalty. Now we have almost a post-snap penalty. Or after the play penalty, which you don't want.
But Chris, I mean, come on now. You were a Pro Bowl linebacker. I mean, you like to hit people. I mean, is that a penalty?
It doesn't matter what I think. That's the rules. You have to adjust your game to the rules.
I didn't know you got political on me this offseason.
I'm not. I'm trying to keep Chandler Jones in the game.
Swinging out to Thompson, stays on his feet. And fighting for extra yards is shoved out of bounds inside the 5-yard line, close to another first down, about a yard short.
To be a
21 seconds remain.
To be a great offensive tackle, you have to be patient. That means you have to absorb the blow. Watch Trent Williams, number 71, checking Buchanan, and has a great footwork to get outside to absorb the blow of Chandler Jones. Strong, and Alex Smith is going to his guy, right? He's got a guy. He loves his guy, and that's Chris Thompson.
Well, anybody who quarterbacks the Washington Redskins ought to love Chris Thompson.
Cousins love him.
5 seconds, Rip, 20.
Out of the shotgun, looking for Richardson across the middle. He was well covered, and now Smith will cut it back up to the inside. He's diving forward, very close to a first down. Looks to be short, however. And the Redskins are going to be forced to spend their final time out of the half with 8 seconds remaining. You know, Chris, here in Arizona, so many times we come into a town and we'll run into a lot of people, ask us, hey, what do you think of the game? And we've seen so many great folks here in Arizona last couple of days. Always love coming out here. Are you surprised what we've seen so far in a half completely and thoroughly dominated by Washington?
Well, not really in this sense, because you have a new coach, right? Everybody's still getting the feel of that. You have a new quarterback. You have David Johnson back. So there's a lot of news, and they're just not clicking right now. And one thing in football always stays the same. And you hear every coach talk about it, every player. If you can run the ball and stop the run, you're going to win the game. And right now, they are dominating that line of scrimmage.
All right, you run it well, but you have 8 seconds and you're out of timeouts. What are you thinking here?
I'm looking at Jordan Reed or Chris Thompson in some type of combination route to get a matchup with number 25.
And Reed is 86.
Coming in motion.
Cardinals showing blitz, and here they come. And a quick throw to Reed. Is that a touchdown? It is a touchdown to Jordan Reed. You made the call, Chris Spielman. They will review this play to confirm it is a touchdown. But Alex Smith, my oh my. What a debut with the Washington Redskins.
Well, right now in this game, the wide receivers for the Redskins are window dressing. Great hands by Jordan Reed, not dominated by contact, awareness to get the ball in the end zone. Again, they're winning every one-on-one matchup battle. I mean, Jordan Reed's beating the safety right there, a much smaller man. Trey Boston's got to be tighter if you're that close to the line of scrimmage.
Extra point is good. 8 seconds left, and we check in with Dean Blandino, part of our crew here on Fox back in Hollywood. Dean, first of all, happy week number 1 to you. Hope you're doing well back there. And when we're saying they got to confirm this, what are they looking at for sure on this touchdown throw to Reed?
Yeah, well, first they're looking at to see whether he made the catch. And this is a good example of the new catch rule, where as soon as he performs that act common to the game, reaches the ball out for the goal line, he's completed the process of the catch. So even if that ball came out, it would still be a catch. And since the ball broke the plane of the goal line, we have a touchdown.
All right, now, Dean, stay with me for a minute. We're going to have a kickoff here. But you start on the new catch rule with one control, right? Then you go 2 feet down or another Barty part. But this is what you're talking about, where we've seen some very controversial plays where a guy makes a touchdown pass going back to the Calvin Johnson touchdown. We were there during that game. And, he rolled over 2 or 3 times and the ball comes out. It was incompleted. That's no longer, right?
That's no longer. Once you perform an act common to the game, the process is over. So just like you said, control 2 feet and then the football move.
Well, I think everybody's thrilled about that. In fact, we were talking to Walt Coleman before the game. Do you think that's a feeling for most of the officials? They were in a tough spot, Dean, the last couple of years.
Well, I think the officials are in a tough spot when you have those bang-bang judgment calls. So anytime we can make the rules clearer and simpler for them, I think that's a good thing. So hopefully the new catch rule helps the officials on the field.
Thank Dean Blandino, former head of NFL officials, now a big part of our coverage, along with Mike Pereira here on Fox. You're about to hear a lot of boos. They have sold out every game they've ever played at this venue. And we'll start hunting around to see if they've ever been shut out over a first half with fewer than 40 yards of offense. Smith dumps it off to Thompson, sniffing the end zone. Touchdown, Adrian Peterson. Quick throw to Reed. Is that a touchdown? It is a touchdown to Jordan Reed. You made the call, Chris Spielman. Today's game flow brought to you by Progressive. We're at halftime, and Chris Spielman, if you're Steve Wilkes, first-year head coach, first time ever in a locker room at halftime where you're the guy they're looking at, what's he saying?
That's not who we are. That's not our identity. That's not what we preached what we're going to be. Right now, they've taken the fight to you. The game started, boys. Guess what? We didn't show up the first half. You might want to think about coming out the second half. Offensively, throw the ball down the field. Throw it on first down. The Redskins are having 11 guys within 8 yards of the ball. You need to start attacking downfield. Maybe go a little up-tempo, no huddle, just to get some type of rhythm going for Sam Bradford.
See, 44 plays for Washington, 14 plays for Arizona, and the Cardinals a grand total of 36 yards of offense, trailing 21-0. How about it, Shannon?
Hey, Tom, so the message from both coaches was stay the course. Of course, Steve Wilkes said we have to get some third and outs. The time of possession is not giving our offense a chance out there. He wants them to be more physical, but he wants them to maintain their poise. Now, Coach Gruden, on the other hand, he said, listen, we've let some games slip in the second. That's something we can't do. We have to stay focused, and we have to, as he said, stay the course.
All right, Shannon Spake, thank you very much. Hustling in and out of each locker room, and here we go in the third quarter, and the Cardinals are looking for a good start. Career low in the first half of the game, 11 passing yards for Bradford. He'll try and better that on his first throw to Fitzgerald. And did he hang on? He did, inside Washington territory, and there you go.
Well, I mean, I've been yelling for this all first half. Throw the ball down the field. You have to look at their 11 guys within the line of scrimmage, and why not? Let's get a Hall of Famer involved in our offense. Let's get Larry Fitzgerald. Let's get him in play. Now you got something going. You see right here, they're up to the ball. You go a little bit of tempo. You get Bradford in his rhythm to get it going.
Work out of the I formation, and they will hand it to David Johnson. And he is met at the line of scrimmage by the #1 pick, the rookie out of Alabama, Daron Payne. 11-time Pro Bowler, just turned 35. We mentioned earlier 212 consecutive games with a reception. No signs of slowing down. Over the last 3 years, he's averaged over 100 catches and 1,000 receiving yards.
So I see a Hall of Famer on Friday walk through, dive for the balls to catch it on the ground. That's why he's a Hall of Famer. High standards on the practice field and in life.
Fake it to Johnson. And they put it in the hands of their tight end, Ricky Seals-Jones. Of course, Fitzgerald, growing up in Minneapolis, his father, a sports writer, gave him an opportunity to be around so many people. Right at the draft, Peterson and Fitzgerald. That's Christian Kirk, young man who grew up in Scottsdale, went to Saguaro High School, and met Fitzgerald at a football camp up in Flagstaff, Arizona. Now he's his teammate.
Yeah, and Larry helped set the standard. He's not only a great player, but also like a player coach, especially in that receiver room.
Well, especially this core of receivers being so young. That had no chance from the very beginning. And on a 3rd down and 3, it's batted down at the line of scrimmage by Josh Harvey Clemens.
They're trying to get David Johnson out in space, but one of the things Greg Minuski talked about was get Sam Bradford off his spot. Well, he was off his spot because Sam's not very accurate, or no quarterback is accurate except maybe Aaron Rodgers, of throwing off that back foot. Exactly how Minuski wanted it. Get him off his comfort zone or the spot he wants to plant and throw.
Of course, you have Mike McCoy now as the offensive coordinator. That was a curious call right there on a 3rd down and 3. If there's ever a team that needed a conversion on 3rd down, it's the Cardinals, because right now it's all Redskins. Many of you may know, but some may not, at State Farm Stadium, they actually pull the grass outside to get sunshine. How about the job that guy's got?
Yeah, I thought that was Studley, the mayor of Arizona. That's
exactly
everything.
Right. Scott Studley Snyder.
Yeah,
he's got it covered on the football side, baseball side, and maybe he's working on the grounds crew here in his spare time.
Excellent. It's off to a hot start. Stay hot, Studley. Stay hot.
You talked him up last year. He went south. First down, and they put it in the hands of Adrian Peterson, looking to cut it back, and he is dropped behind the line of scrimmage, and a penalty flag comes down on the first play offensively in this third quarter for the Redskins.
There's the battle I was excited to get to in the first quarter. Even had the players mixed up, but that was Chandler Jones going up against Trent Williams. And Chandler Jones does not make the tackle.
Holding, number 73, offense. That penalty's declined. Second down.
But he forces AP to run the hump. That means not go north and south. That's when AP's dangerous. He's not dangerous going east and west, sideways. Here you go, Chandler Jones right here. Watch this little inside move that he's going to throw. Right there, sets him up inside, swim, forcing AP to get to the sidelines. That's where the troops will rally to get him.
Second down and 14, and out of the shotgun from his own end zone is Alex Smith. Looking for something quick, incomplete. Looking at Peterson.
It's the first time, I think, this whole ball game, Tom, where I think Alex Smith lost his composure. He got happy feet in that pocket, and his feet were not set and weren't married to the target, forcing an errant throw.
That ends a string of 13 consecutive passes completed by Alex Smith. Well, now what he asked him to do here, they're 5 of 7 on third down. You trust a guy like Smith because he so rarely turns it over. Although he's swarmed and just throws the football. Kim Dichie was the one who's here. I think they're going to call this a safety. Robert Kimdichie, former #1 pick. They've been waiting on him.
No intentional grounding. There was a receiver in the area.
Oh, they're saying there was a receiver in the area, so Smith able to get it away. Wilkes screaming for the safety.
Well, we talk about Kimdichie. He's right here. He's on a 3 technique. That means the outside shoulder of the guard. He is so quick off the ball. He splits that double team, avoids all contact, and he's right. Dean Blandino confirmed that was a good ruling.
Tressway punts out of his own end zone. Good punt driving Christian Kirk back to the 40. There's a penalty flag down. And Kirk, excellent coverage by the Redskins, is dropped to the 42-yard line, but we wait on the penalty.
They've been waiting on Kimdichie, haven't they, Tom?
Boy, have they ever. I mean, when this guy came out of college, and Chris, you were doing a lot of college football. I don't know if there was a more dominant defensive lineman.
Holding, number 33, return team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, quickness, effort, split the double team. Almost had a huge play. Alex Smith, veteran move right there.
Week 1 of the National Football League. Welcome back to football indeed. 2018. Greg Minuski's defense has been spectacular. It's been a long time since the Redskins have pitched a shutout. They're doing their Max Scherzer impersonation so far in this one today. On first down, the Cardinals will hand it off to Chase Edmonds. Edmonds, a rookie. 4th round pick out of Fordham, and Steve Wilkes is very high on his future.
Runs hard for his size. Really has done a good job for a rookie to understand and pick up pass protection, which you have to do to be able to play in this league if you're a running back.
Steve Wilkes said he's become one of my favorite players in a short amount of time. Grew up in the same hometown as general manager Steve Keim, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Second down and 6 after the 4-yard gain, and there's Fitzgerald, and it's a little bit high and broken up by Quentin Dunbar. He's had a nice game here today.
Well, he's had a nice game, right? And Quentin Dunbar does a great job, and this is the second time we've seen this today, of avoiding any premature contact and going up and high pointing the football. Usually you see Larry Fitzgerald, who has great strong hands on those jump balls, will come up with it, but good target by Quentin Dunbar to knock it away.
Cardinals have not converted a 3rd down situation so far in this game. 0 for 4.
Always be alert for Ryan Kerrigan right here.
I got space right here. I got 40.
Delay of the game.
Oh, boy.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Okay, this has not been pretty for the Cardinals so far today.
So he's going to walk in that meeting room, and he said, when I took the job, we first met, I crossed the green little line that we have for meeting rooms. One of the things I emphasized were pre- and post-snap penalties. That's the third one today. Now, you can go 6 games without pre- or post-snap penalties, and it's killing him right now. So he's learning. He's got to adjust.
A 3rd and 6 now becomes a very difficult 3rd down and 11. Great protection, and an eye on Chad Williams, and it's incomplete. Boy, this Cardinal fan base, and it's a great fan base. They have done a lot of booing here so far today.
Chad Williams right here, trying to get him going. And again, at least they're attacking downfield. Now, right there, I thought he had Fitzgerald open for the first down. So he should have had short to deep as opposed to deep to short.
Andy Lee just keeps on keeping on. Booms this one all the way inside the 15-yard line. A penalty flag is already down. Trey Quinn leapfrogs close to the 25, but we wait on a pair of penalties. Well, you hope Quinn's okay. We mentioned what a great story he is. The last pick in the draft, known as Mr. Irrelevant. .256 players drafted this year. He was number 256.
See him grab his ankle right there. I hate to see anybody get hurt in this game. Unfortunately, comes down awkwardly on that right foot. Redskins are thin at wide receiver, young at wide receiver.
That looks like he might be all right. Let's see. Is he going to be able to walk in? He's going to need some help. Well, we certainly hope he's going to be all right. Well, he's starting to walk a little bit. That's a good sign.
He also got up number 89, a rookie from Alabama, Cam Sims, college free agent.
So we have 3 flags and an official's hat thrown on the field.
There are 2 fouls on the return team. Illegal block in the back. Number 30, that penalty's declined. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the return team going out of bounds and hitting a player. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed. First down.
So 11:07 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Still a long way to go. I mean, by no means is this game over, but things need to start getting straightened out in a hurry for the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, one thing they can do, again, they have the Redskins pinned down, try to set up some type of field position for your offense, who's struggling right now. And the other thing, next time they come out, I wouldn't be surprised if they go a little bit more up-tempo. Get something going and get in rhythm and maybe tire out that Redskin defense.
So it's a 2nd drive in a row. The Redskins are starting from inside their own 15. And Smith brings it up close to the 12-yard line. And Shannon, I've been in this venue so many dozens of times. I've never heard it this quiet.
Well, it's funny. I just heard a little burst of excitement from the fans on that last Alex Smith drive. But you guys talked about how the Redskins were working on silent counts this week. Certainly not necessary. When I read the game notes, this stadium actually leads the NFL in false starts since 2006 because of the fan noise. And guys, I think I could probably scream up to you in the press box right now. It's been so quiet.
We need to save your lovely pipes there, Shannon, so hold off on that for a little while. This will be Smith. Quick throw. And a flag comes down. What a catch made by Doxson, his first of the game. 3rd-year receiver out of TCU, number 1 pick 2 years ago. This is a big year for Doxson. They need him to step up and deliver the goods.
Well, he has a lot of skill. I did a couple of games of his at TCU. Really good tracker of the deep ball, strong hands. And right here, he wins the physical battle.
28 defense, penalties decline. First down.
On Jamar Taylor. Taylor will actually grab his shoulder. You see Doxson is still able to create separation. So he pushes inside and see the strength right there. Now he got away with a little push off, and Taylor got it. If you grab the jersey though, they see cloth, they throw cloth.
So it's a first down. And back to Peterson on the ground. Tries to tiptoe his way over a defender, and he's stopped at the 23-yard line by Buda Baker.
It's a bad read by Adrian. He hasn't had many of them today. He's got two offensive linemen pulling out to the outside. He's cutting it all the way back inside to where he has no blockers. Watch it too. Sheriff and Moses pulling around outside. He cuts it back inside, and that's where all the defenders are. Just trust the blocking, and that will come with the more reps. He's only had 11 carries coming into this game with that offensive line. Trust the scheme, especially those 5 guys.
50 yards and a rushing touchdown today for Peterson. And Smith under heavy pressure just throws it away. Dayon Buchanan giving chase, and I think they're asking about another intentional grounding call. There didn't appear to be a receiver anywhere in sight when that ball was thrown.
I saw the official pointing to Paul Richardson, number 10. Good pressure right here. They're getting aggressive, bringing Boston, Buchanan. And Paul Richardson's right there in the area. An official, the side judge down there, is pointing to Paul Richardson as they were making contact.
Grounding. There was a receiver in the area. Third down.
Pretty generous right there.
Well, again, it's a game of close right now for the Cardinal defense. Certainly an intentional grounding would have backed him up, would have been a loss down, but also the almost safety on Alex Smith. So things are going well, but you just got to stay aggressive. That's what Wilkes has done with his defense's second half. Staying aggressive. Get after him.
First-year defensive coordinator Al Holcomb under Wilkes, both coming together from Carolina. Wilkes, the defensive coordinator under Ron Rivera. And now Smith. Good protection this time. Looking down the field, and Richardson. It looked like Richardson slowed down. Now the question is, was he slowed down by a Cardinal defender? There is a penalty flag in the middle of the field, but not quite where Richardson was. That ball looked like it was thrown right on the money.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 28, defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's again Jamar Taylor.
Yeah, that's 2 in a row. See, Jamar Taylor is susceptible to the double move. He's not known as a speed guy, so Richardson comes up on the outside, and he's beat off the get-go. See the double move? We talked about it in our little scouting report that we do. He got beat on the double move, expecting Boston to be back there, so probably made a smart play to grab a hold of him, to be honest with you, because he knew he was beat, and Alex Smith isn't going to miss that one.
So you can understand why Richardson was unable to get that ball, because he was slowed down just enough. Fake it to Peterson. Smith rolling. And that is complete to Dotson. No, incomplete. Popped out of there. That'll bring up 2nd and 10, and we check in back in Los Angeles with Carissa Thompson.
Thanks, Tom. So the Chiefs traded Alex Smith to D.C. for this guy, Patrick Mahomes, already up 24-12 with a 36-yard touchdown pass to fullback Anthony Sherman. Mahomes' 3rd touchdown of the day. They're up 31-12. Tom?
How about that?
Yeah, the best news Mahomes got is Joey Bosa's not playing for the Chargers, one of the premier pass rushers.
Buckeye.
Yeah, one of the,
he had
just happens to be a Buckeye, yeah.
Peterson trying to find a hole, and again another penalty flag. I mean, penalties have occurred virtually on every play in this 3rd quarter. You know, you look at Arizona offensively.
Illegal use of hands to the face, number 41, defense, 5-yard penalty.
That's Antoine
automatic
Buffet.
first down.
So you tack on this 10-yard penalty. The Cardinals have 67 yards, a 5-yard penalty, I beg your pardon. They have 62 yards in penalty yards. They have 74 yards of total offense.
Well, that's a discipline thing, and one thing Coach Wilkes wants to address. And right there's Buffet, and that, you got to understand where your hand is. As a player, you can feel your hand on the guy's face mask or helmet. You have to have the discipline to remove it.
Jamison Crowder inside handoff from the wide receiver position, and another flag comes down, and then another flag comes down.
Well, they're going to get Dayon Buchanan was being held. He does a great job of forcing that ball back inside.
Number 85, offense, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
This is a great play by Dayon Buchanan, even though he does not make the tackle. Number 20 is going to show you his speed. Vernon Davis is going to try to cut him off at the path. Watch Dayon use his speed, outrun Morgan Moses, then get to Vernon Davis and force that ball back inside as Vernon horse collars him. That's an excellent play by Dayon Buchanan. Won't show up on the stat sheet, but that's a team play right there.
And there you saw the penalty by Davis. Been a very choppy third quarter here. Virtually no flow to this game at all. And now Peterson cutting it back up to the inside, powerfully running up to the 40. Gets a big chunk of it back. On a 1st and 20, he gains close to 17 yards.
They have 3 wide receivers over here, right? All 3. They have a running back over here. Everybody's pointing this way, thinking of plays here. That's just opposite direction. LaBelle out with a good block. What a great play, LaBelle. I'll tell you else, too. Chase Roulier, when you have a center that can pull and get down to the second level like that, that takes your running game to a whole new level.
Roulier, of course, is taking over for Spencer Long. He got a lot of playing time last year, played in 13 games with all the injuries, starting 7 of them. First time we've said Chris Thompson here in the second half. And Thompson still on his feet, and he's wrapped up to the 45-yard line, or he'd have been gone by Buchanan.
How about a little more Roulier love, huh? How about the centers, 73?
Well, let me hear it.
Watch this on Trey Boston. Getting to the second level. Coming off of a block to help Sheriff right there. Getting to second level. Driving Boston out of there. Doing his job to finish the block. That is outstanding center play. You have to be an athlete to play center so you can get to the second level. That means blocking safeties and linebackers 4 and 5 yards down the field. Well done.
Back to the ground game. Rob Kelly checking in. Cuts it back to the inside, and a flag comes in late. When he put that foot on the ground to cut it back again to the outside, he lost his footing, but this one's coming back.
Holding, number 71, offense.
That'll be big.
10-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, coming up Thursday, a couple of teams that won earlier today, the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. That'll be on the NFL Network. But don't forget, beginning on Week 4, Thursday Night Football debuts on Fox. Schedule is loaded with big-time matchups. Thursday Night Football coming to Fox Week 4. Now, it's a game. I tell you what, you watch games inside that AFC North. There are a lot of great divisions. But when those teams play one another, it is some big-time hitting going on, and they're going to, unfortunately, take Trey Quinn back to the locker room, and we certainly hope he's going to be all right. Great story making this Redskins roster. Blitz coming. Smith feels it, and now running right. And steps out of bounds. Kimdichie giving chase.
He's doing his best right there not to get a sack for his offensive lineman. You see Kimdichie how he can run, but that's an unselfish play. He's thinking about his guys. He reached that ball to try to get back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe he did, but he did not want to give his offensive lineman a sack. Unselfish. That's why he's here. I mean, that's who he is. He's a very underrated quarterback in this league. Underappreciated.
I couldn't agree with you more. Just look at winning football. That's all. Winning football. There might be guys who have bigger stats and bigger numbers and all that kind of thing, but at the end of the day, a little play here, a little play there. And Jay Gruden said, look, we're not here to build this team around Alex Smith. This team is built. He's got to lead it and lead it now. This isn't some 2 or 3 year process. We've got to win right away. Well, you just get a sense. I don't know if you thought that, Chris. There's just something that feels a little different about this team. Maybe it's because it's before the first game.
Well, I think that. I think they have a lot of confidence in the health of this football team, especially up front.
Smith pump fakes one way. Looking around now, back to his left, biding a little bit of time. And he will run it out of bounds, and they'll be forced to punt it. So Alex Smith will stay right there on the sideline, and for more on him, here's Shannon Spig.
Well, Tom, Jamison Crowder told me that it's just a calmness that Alex Smith brings to this offense. He said the entire offense feels it and feeds off it. And Smith admitted when he was younger, he was too rigid, too structured. He now is comfortable in the gray zone, trusting his instincts. The whole offense feels that.
Well, he has a genuine confidence. There's a difference between cockiness and confidence.
Yes.
Cockiness to think you're good, confidence to know you're good. And Alex Smith knows he's good.
Fair catch at the 15-yard line by Kirk. Well, Cardinals need to get something going. It's been all Smith and the Redskins so far. First-year offensive coordinator Mike McCoy, four-year head coach, of course, in San Diego. And you look at the possessions today for this Arizona offense. Here we are with 4:21 to go in the third quarter, and Arizona has a total of 74 yards on offense.
Only 21 plays, 10 minutes TOP, time of possession.
So now Bradford going to be forced to sling it around, and chop down is Fitzgerald at the 22-yard line by Swearinger.
Here they go. This is what we talked about. They're going to go a little up-tempo, no huddle. Try to get him some rhythm and get something going. You're midway through the third quarter. You've got nothing or not threatening on offense. This can help it because it also can tire out your defense. Get him going.
Cardinals only have 3 first downs in this game. The Redskins have 26. David Johnson looking for some running room and comes out the other side and has a first down up to the 31-yard line.
David Johnson will get in his groove. I would like to see as this offense progresses, put him out of the receiver a little bit and slot. I'll tell you, I think that's Swearinger that's going to make a play. No, excuse me. It's a good play by Fabian Moreau, the nickelback, because he could have been off and running.
Bradford throws across his body into traffic, and Johnson had his hands on it, then it popped into the air. That could have been a disaster. Big pressure there by Mason Foster.
Yeah, Mason Foster and Greg Nuske staying aggressive. Why? Because the #1 goal that when you're playing Sam Bradford is get him off of his spot. And as soon as he starts rolling around and throwing and moving, he's in trouble. Because of his injuries and he doesn't move as well as he used to, that's when he becomes vulnerable.
The multiple ACL tears, especially that left knee that he's had treated, and Shannon brought up earlier, has traveled all over the globe to try and get it better. Fitzgerald, his first big game to the 42-yard line. Larry Fitzgerald, his 4th catch of the afternoon.
Larry Fitzgerald working, read the corner, throw the corner. What I mean, this is a high to low read right here. You see the corner jump right here? That vacates the area for Larry Fitzgerald. That's an easy read for Sam Bradford. As soon as a guy jumps the flat, you know the second level is wide open.
And you saw DJ Swearinger. He felt like Fitzgerald ran him over in that pass pattern. Was looking for a penalty that didn't come, and tripped up from behind is Bradford. Looked like Ryan Anderson out of Alabama, second-year pick a year ago, credited with the tackle.
It's the thing with a 3-4 defense. You can certainly, they're playing nickel now, understanding what the Cardinals are trying to do. You end up going into a 4-3 defense, and Ryan Anderson is a slash linebacker defensive end right here.
Bradford is intercepted by Quentin Dunbar. Had an eye on the tight end, Ricky Seals-Jones. And the Cardinals, who had a spark, turn it over. Been a mighty tough afternoon for Sam Bradford in his Arizona Cardinals debut. Interception picked off by Quentin Dunbar, giving Alex Smith and the Redskins a football to begin this drive from their own 23. Arizona defense has been very good here in the second half. Smith only 2 out of 6 for 15 yards after the big first half. And here's Adrian Peterson. There's no way he's stepping out of bounds. He's up to the 41-yard line.
You got Adrian doing Adrian things, but you have to get the ball for him to do Adrian things. Remember Fitzgerald caught that corner route, Tom? They switched positions now. You're trying to run it with Seals Jones, but stop it. Freeze it right there, guys. Fabian Moreau, when Fitzgerald caught it, was up here on the short route. Now he's back here, forcing him to throw the ball over the top and long, leaving it vulnerable to Quentin Dunbar to come make it. Good adjustment by Fabian Moreau on the short route, playing the deep route first in this game situation. Well done. Learning as you play.
Read option, they pitch it to Peterson, or this is Thompson rather, who checks into the game. And he has the first down as Chris Thompson. It seems like every time this guy's touching the ball, he's ripping off 10, 12, 15 yards.
He's so explosive. I mean, he's not even 100%, but when you have this in your arsenal, all right, how many times do you sit there and play a play that you played against in high school? I mean, you don't do that. That's called a speed option. That's back in the old days. And guarantee you, Jay Gruden's telling him, hey, pitch the ball if we run that play. You don't take that hit.
Boy, what a day for Thompson. He's only touched the ball a total now of 10 times, but well over 100 yards from scrimmage. And this is Adrian Peterson, who is starting to zero in, Chris, on a 100-yard rushing day. You may remember last year, he was signed by New Orleans, only played there for roughly a month. He comes to the Cardinals, his first game right out of the gate, he rips off over 130 yards. As this will be the final play of the third quarter. He had one other game of over 130, but he had 3 games less than 30 yards. Well, we asked him yesterday, he said, I'm good to go. Redskins 21-0. We're off to the fourth. Well, not a lot of noise being made by the hometown faithful here, but perplexing indeed. That says it all.
You got 4 quarters to show some fight. Try to get back in this thing, but you have to stop the running game. Quite frankly, the Cardinals have shown no signs of stopping any running game.
I remember you made the comment last year. We did that thrilling Redskins victory when they went out and took on the LA Rams at the Coliseum. Smith here on second down will just throw it up top in a jump ball. There's a collision over there. Richardson along with Jamar Taylor.
Prior to the pass, holding number 28.
That's another penalty on Taylor. That's his third in this half. But Chris, I want to get back to something earlier. You made the comment last year when we did the Redskins when they were healthy and they started the year, they were running up 140 rushing yards per game. Then they had all these linemen start dropping. You said at the time that you thought this was as good an offensive line as there was in the NFL. You said it before the game again today, now that they're all back. And they played like it so far.
Yeah, they take a lot of pride in, and they're really solid. They're tough guys. Morgan Moses played hurt a lot last year, but he still played. Getting Trent Williams back, I was so excited to talk about him. I even misidentified him in the first thing. But he's a difference maker. He and Chandler Jones have had a great battle today. Two great players going at it. And I'll tell you, Roulier is a guy that has really stood out to me, the center for the Redskins. Really good job.
That's Chase Roulier, a man who played collegiately at Wyoming. Well, you're talking about Trent Williams, a 6-time Pro Bowler, injured his knee last year.
Right here, he does a good job of sustaining and staying patient on Chandler Jones's power rush. And again, staying patient, being able to absorb a blow, keeping his feet square. Chandler Jones has had his moments too, but right now, Trent Williams has been able to handle the power rush of Chandler Jones, and that's why he's one of the best in the business right there.
Second down and 12.
All right, 20.
Blitz coming. Smith picks it up and throws too high for Richardson. It'll bring up third down. Boy, just watching that video of Williams. I think sometimes we get so overwhelmed with the size of these men. 6'5", 320 pounds. But you could see the athleticism in Williams.
Well, what makes him unique is he's patient in his pass protection. He doesn't put his head down or lunge, and his feet are always square. He never crosses over, because when you cross over in his offensive tackle, you are beat.
Rookie.
Crowder has a first down inside the 20, down to the 17, so they convert on 3rd down and 12 on the quick hitter to Jamison Crowder.
Well, you want to try not to give up the inside because you have no help. And plus, you're giving him a lot of field to work with. Trey Boston gives up a little bit of the inside, thinking he has Dayon Buchanan back there in the middle. Alex Smith moved Dayon back to his left, was able to come back to his right, deliver a strike and a perfectly catchable ball for Crowder, who's a beast in the slot.
30 first downs. Here's Peterson. And on his feet inside the 15, down to the 14, knocking on the door is Peterson of a 100-yard rushing day. That puts him up over 90, give him 93 in the game. Trent Williams, Sean Laval, Chase Roulier, Brandon Sheriff, Morgan Moses.
Mover of men, those 5 guys.
It's like the I-10 out there with everything going on.
Chris Thompson, 121 total yards. Just a dominating performance by this Redskin offense and defense.
Peterson is spun out of bounds. Not sure there's any gain, maybe a yard. So now 3rd down.
How many fans in Arizona will be calling for Rosen next week? I think it's way too early.
Took it right out of my mouth. I was getting ready to ask you the same thing.
I think it's a little early for that, but obviously they're excited about his future. There's Chris Thompson and Jordan Reed. Tough combo to cover.
Play clock down to 2. They get it off. 3rd down, looking at Reed, and it's incomplete. Throwing into double coverage is Smith.
Nice job of Dayon Buchanan undercutting that route, forcing a wide throw. I don't think that was a missed throw. I think he threw that one incomplete on purpose. We're going to get Bethea coming up here to help Dayon Buchanan, understanding that that's a mismatch. And also Jamar Taylor coming off in cover 2 because he knew that he had Bethea over the top.
I'm with you. That looked like he just threw that ball away.
Yeah, he did. He knew it was covered. They wanted to work that side. Scouting report says that. We all knew it.
31-yard attempt by Dustin Hopkins right down the middle. Then 12:13 to go here at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. Newly named State Farm Stadium. And a 24-0 Washington lead. The Redskins a year ago went 7-9. They had all the injuries. In fact, only Miami and Baltimore lost more players for more games than the Redskins did last year. As mentioned earlier, this is our 25th anniversary of covering the NFL here on Fox. Can't thank all of you enough, and we look back on some of the great moments here on Fox.
Smith on 3rd and 3. He throws to the end zone, and the catch is made by Vernon Davis for a Niners touchdown.
For Vernon Davis, Alex Smith, Frank Gore fought through some very difficult years. What a great day this is for them right now.
And of course, those were the days they were making reference to the fact that, you know, when Alex Smith and Vernon Davis first came up with the 49ers, that was an awful team. Then all of a sudden they start putting it together. Jim Harbaugh comes in. And there has to still be some bad blood there. I mean, he won't come out and talk about it. That's not his style and Alex Smith. But he went 19-5 under Jim Harbaugh after Harbaugh took the job. Then in 2012, he gets hurt. Misses a game. They put in Colin Kaepernick, and the rest is history.
Well, Jim made the decision that Cap gave his team a better chance to win and take it to the next step.
And they went all the way to the Super Bowl. A catch made by Seals Jones. Let's check him in L.A. with Kurt Menefee.
And Alex Smith's replacement in Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, has 4 touchdown passes. The easiest, this little 1-yard shovel pass to Tyreek Hill. He's got 250 total yards to Hill and 3 scores today. 38-20. They lead the Chargers in the 4th. Tom and Chris.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. Under 11.5 to go. The Cardinals running the football, and Chase Edmonds. And he's up to the 44-yard line. 11-11 left.
Got John Wetzel in for Andre Smith going up against Ryan Kerrigan. 13 sacks last year. Right, here's a little matchup to watch in a passing situation.
Monte Nicholson in on the tackle. That'll be a first down for Arizona. Let's check in downstairs with Shannon.
A little more with Alex Smith and Vernon Davis. I did ask each one what it would be like, what their careers would look like without the other. Vernon Davis said absolutely would not have the accolades and the awards he had without Alex Smith. And Alex just kind of laughed and said, I think Vernon Davis did a lot more for me than I did for him.
That was his comfort zone, right, Tom, in San Francisco?
Oh,
throw it to Vernon.
That's right. I love the way Alex Smith put it. He had a grin on his face, and he said, hey, look, we break the huddle. I look around who our options were at that point and figure I better throw it to Vernon every play because I like the matchup.
Yeah, well, he's a matchup nightmare on a lot of people. Still is at 35 years of age.
Well, what a career he has had indeed. Out of Dunbar High School in Washington, D.C. This is Chase Edmonds getting all the carries here in the mop-up duty in a 24-0 game. But you know the Cardinals do want to get on the scoreboard here.
Oh, absolutely. And it's interesting that they have Chase Edmonds, and I could probably understand, give him some opportunities. I promise you, if this was a one-possession ball game, number 31, David Johnson, would be in the ball game. But it's a good experience for that guy's one of his favorite players. And speaking of experience, he's looking to get his first experience. Don't know when that will be in Josh Rosen.
Well, you can rest assured it will be written about and talked about on the talk shows after this one is over today. Dump it off again to Edmonds. And he slips under a big hit from Swearinger down to the 29-yard line as we are closing in on the 9-minute mark. And the Redskins are going to come on the road. And barring a complete disaster here in the final 9 minutes, it would be the first time ever that Jay Gruden has won a season opener in his 5 years as a Redskins head coach.
And they're 0-4 with 10 turnovers in those 4 losses.
And not a single turnover today. You know, it's funny, you go through all the stats and everything else. I mean, at the end of the day, if there is one stat, you can almost take it to the bank.
That's right.
I mean, at least from a percentage point more than any other. The team that turns it over the fewest number of times will win the game. Now, we've only had 1 turnover in this game today, and it was by Arizona.
Remember, Arizona had 17 turnovers created in preseason. You say it's only preseason, but a mentality is developed.
David Johnson checking back in there, and he's out of bounds at the 17-yard line.
You see what the Redskins are doing. They're playing kind of a loose man, but they're playing way off the ball, so they're perfectly happy giving all these checkdowns away.
All right, but let me ask something. You were a great defender, Pro Bowl player, everything. Here you are, you've worked your tail off to get to under 8 minutes in a game. How bad, if you're a Redskin defender, do you want this shutout?
I want the win, so I'm not going to make myself vulnerable to any type of press coverage or man-to-man. I want to make them earn it, and I'll pick up my 12th defender by the back line of the end zone as we move closer toward the end zone.
But you want the shutout.
Sure you do. Oh, yeah.
Bradford able to slide down inside the 10, and that is an Arizona first down.
It's a good job by Sam, and feeling really good with his knee. And I'll tell you one thing, you're going to get an honest day's work from Sam Bradford. Right here, they're only rushing 4 and dropping 8. Nothing available, and Sam Bradford showing that his knee is healthy. And he will get better as he's more time with these guys. They got a young receiving core. He's still a very good football player. A great competitor.
It's a game.
All the way with an eye on Johnson. And the Redskins saw that coming. That's an excellent play made by Zach Brown. Leading tackler for the Redskins a season ago.
Well, they've been running this. This is the 4th completion to a running back. Now they got David Johnson back in, and each time the linebacker has made the tackle in the flat at the same area, because they're giving that away and making sure those guys don't get beat inside or up the field. The linebackers don't get beat.
Johnson with 11 touches in this game. They try the end zone, and a flag comes in. Had an eye on Fitzgerald. Fabian Moreau is back there with him.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, number 31. Defense, half the distance to the goal, first down.
It's Fabian working on Fitz. He's a key part of this defense moving forward. He's going to be their nickel back, and usually when you play teams, you're going to play guys 70% of nickel, and it looked to me like Fitz initiated that contact. And that's Fitz's game though now. That's his game. He's physical. And crafty and wily and all that good stuff. He can get away with that.
I just don't think there are enough words to describe. You know, when Larry Fitzgerald came into our meeting the other day, you know, and believe me, I've been blessed enough to grow up around a professional athlete since I was a little kid.
Yep.
This guy is as impressive as Akon. See, I don't know about you at home, but I would never know what that is except for when you're traveling with Chris Spielman and Shannon Spake. One of them who's working out at 4 o'clock every morning, and the other one who's training for a triathlon.
Iron Man she's training for, which is worse. I thought that looked like Tom Brennan down in Athens, Ohio during the heyday.
No, that had been a forward roll.
Yeah, El Presidente breakdancing.
Inside pitch to Fitzgerald, trying to get to the end zone, and he will be stuffed right around the 2-yard line.
Well, that would have been nice to get him a touchdown reception right there. And I know most football fans understand this. Even though it's a pitch, it was a forward pitch, so it would count as a touchdown reception.
Second down and goal for the Cardinals. Under 6 to play. 5:50. They hand it off to David Johnson, and he's in the end zone for a touchdown. Johnson signing that big 3-year deal. It was announced very late last night. And the 26-year-old out of Clinton, Iowa, is into the end zone. The first score for the Cardinals today.
A really good surge right here by this offensive line, who's been struggling a little bit today. See Mason Cole doing his job, Justin Pugh doing his job, driving his man, finishing in the end zone. And if I'm Steve Wilks, that's what I want to see. I want to see my team in the 4th quarter when we're out of it. Are we going to finish as they go for 2 here? Are we going to quit? Or are we going to drive people into the end zone and play to the whistle no matter what the score is? Great sign by the Cardinals right there.
Well, they're going to try to make it a 2-point conversion. You know, you get 3 touchdowns and 2-point after. Or 3 successful 2-point conversions. Try and tie this thing up, and Bradford will throw it. That had no chance. None. That's a jump ball to a guy 5'10". None. Redskins up 24-6. Offensively up and down the field, especially in the first half for the Redskins. Their 31st downs, the most in a game since week 8 of 2016. And were not for this last drive by the Cardinals, those penalty yards were running neck and neck with their total yards of offense. Before finally getting into the end zone on the touchdown by Johnson. Now an onside kick, you figure, coming up. Nope. They're going to drop it way back there. Chris Thompson will pick it up, and he's wrapped up at the 7-yard line. We're back after this message.
The first one was perfect. An instant classic.
Under pressure. He'll tuck it in and run. Touchdown, Texas. Touchdown, Big John.
But then they made a sequel.
56 yards.
A non-stop thriller that ends
Unbelievable.
in revenge. After 2 hits this big, you don't end the story there. You make a trilogy.
Seven possessions today for the Washington Redskins. 5 of the drives, 10 plays or more, 3 touchdowns, a field goal. They've only punted 1 time all day. The mystery remaining left is Peterson. Can he get over 100 yards? And that was early movement by the left guard, Laval.
False start, 77 offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
You know they want to get Peterson 100 yards. He's only 7 away.
And that's up to that offensive line, because I promise you that the Cardinals defense will be selling out to stop the run. And quite frankly, the offensive linemen get as much joy out of their running back, especially Adrian Peterson going for 100, than Adrian. It'd probably be more to them than it does to 26.
Well, he gets 2 of it. So now up to 95 rushing yards on 24 carries, just fractionally beyond 4 yards per carry. A long of 17. You know, the thing I found so interesting, and you brought it up, is when we met with Jay Gruden yesterday, so many teams are having their players play less and less during the preseason games, right? Then you mix in some injuries that occurred to this Redskins team, especially very late in the preseason. He was not sure what was going to happen here today.
Well, I think the one thing he was concerned about, Jordan Reed didn't get a lot of practice, right? So Alex Smith was getting those guys after practice, trying to simulate a game. Quite frankly, they did a great job. Chris Thompson, they didn't know what they were going to get from Chris. It's so good to see a great player coming off a horrible injury to come back and have a productive day. But the biggest key, and we'll see this all across the league, if this Washington Redskin offensive line can stay healthy, they are a dangerous football team. They really are. And you got to get continued growth from the wide receivers, because right now, if I'm Washington, I'm taking away Thompson and Reed in the passing game. Make the receivers beat them. That's a future scouting report.
Well, and I mean, the numbers today is that bobbled in the line of scrimmage. The exchange between the center, Roulier, and the quarterback, Alex Smith. It looked like Smith covered it up. He did.
Sorry, I got a little excited there. Fun boy still have flashbacks. Trying to go dig it out. Get her done.
Going back to the Massillon High School days. You know, you look at the wide receivers today, and just very quickly, you got Richardson with 4 catches. You got Peterson with 1, Doxson with 1. So, you know, they didn't get a whole lot of their wide receiver, but they haven't needed it. And next week, the home opener against Indianapolis. Colts lost today to Cincinnati. Then you're home against Green Bay. An early bye for these Redskins. Boy, how about that Saints game today? I want to get your thoughts on that here in a minute. Meanwhile, for the Arizona Cardinals, starting the year here at home, now they'll go take on division rival the Rams next week up at the Coliseum. Bears come to town, and then back-to-back road games, the 49ers and at Minnesota. 3rd down, and they pitch it to Chris Thompson. And he is tackled at the 11-yard line, and the Redskins will punt it away, closing in on the 5-minute mark. Were you as stunned as everybody else about what Ryan Fitzpatrick did today for Tampa Bay? 48-40 winning today in New Orleans.
Boy, it seems like New Orleans, they always struggle in the opener. You remember last year,
right.
Sam Bradford shredded them, but they really played great defense, and Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator, improved it as the year went on. Ryan Fitzpatrick's a pro. Mike Evans is getting better and better and better. He got paid, and he's gotten better since he's gotten paid. In Tampa Bay, everybody's writing them off because of the whole Jameis thing, and we're going with Ryan Fitzpatrick. They played well, and apparently for both teams, defense was optional today.
This is Christian Kirk, and open field in front of him. And he is dragged down at the 27-yard line. A touchdown saving play by Troy Apke. So Kirk making his presence known in his first NFL game.
Well, this is
an electrifying return man in college.
This is why Steve Keim makes him the 2nd overall pick. Not only slot receiver, but his great return skills. Shifty, good blocking, good discipline of not hitting anybody in the back. Trey Boston pulling off that block. That's smart, even though the guy made the play. You don't want to get that penalty right there.
Christian Kirk returns 6 punts for touchdowns, while the Texas A&M 26-yard return. This is David Johnson, and he's inside the 10-yard line.
This is lucky because this is a miss route or a poor route or the wrong route by number 10, Chad Williams. Watch Chad Williams is going to come right here, and he's getting in the way of David Johnson. What he's doing is bringing defenders. But luckily, Sam Bradford threw to his target that he wanted to get. They got away with one there.
They're looking at Thompson again. And incomplete. Clock stops for Johnson, I said, the 4-minute mark.
Chad Williams is bringing defenders to David Johnson. He's a young guy. They have high expectations for Chad Williams. I know that Larry Fitzgerald's been working with him. Strong hands. Second-year man out of Grambling.
They only played in 6 games with 1 start, had 3 catches his rookie year. Had an incredible collegiate career. Bradford to Johnson. Stuffed right there.
So how do you cover David Johnson, right? They go flat, flat, flat. So what they do, go a vice coverage. A vice means one guy has him outside. He's got him inside. You got a guy sitting right there that has him outside. You take away David Johnson, and since they've thrown about 9 balls to the running backs out of the backfield, that was a good call by Greg Minuski.
3rd down and goal. And that one dropped by Williams. It was Vigil in coverage, a 4th-year linebacker out of Utah State. And the Cardinals obviously will go for it here on 4th down.
So you look for your big targets, right? Obviously you got Fitzgerald at 6'3", Ricky Seals-Jones checking in at 6'5". A lot of times, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just want to say you got to watch the seam routes, especially with Fitzgerald lined up inside. There's Fitz right there. Seals-Jones right here. 2 big targets.
4th down and goal. To the end zone. It looked like that ball was a short hop throw with an eye on deed on Seals-Jones. And the Cardinals turn it over on downs, and that'll tie a ribbon around this one.
I don't know if it's short hopped or dropped. I mean, he throws that ball where he needs to throw it.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, we talk about this is a guy that we pointed out before the play because he's a big target working on Josh Norman. A little bit of smaller corner, runs a nice route. Ball's got to be caught. I mean, it's a tough catch. I get all that. I understand it. But you're an NFL player. That ball's blowing away from the corner. You got to make that catch. You got 2 hands on it. You got to make the catch.
I'd like to thank the media relations staffs of both the Cardinals and the Redskins. Mark Dalton, longtime friend, great husband, family man, and does a rock-solid job. And for the Redskins, our friend Tony Wiley. We found out in the meetings yesterday with the Redskins on Saturdays, the right-hand man to Tony is Zena. Had never heard that first name before. And apparently that name means good news. And it's been good news for the Washington Redskins here today.
Fans watching at home. Redskins fans. You got a lot of Zena today. Enjoy the Zena.
And these numbers, a whole lot of Zena.
Yes, sir. That's a big one right there, Tom. 68 yards. A team that finished last in rushing defense last year. Nobody's happened to that than the former linebacker, Greg Minuski. Look at him. It's my guys. That's what he's saying.
And that's Zena Lewis, by the way, works in the Redskins media relations department. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee, a game break back in Los Angeles.
Cowboys are being shut out midway through their 4th quarter at Carolina until Zeke took it in. They also got the 2-point conversion, cut the lead down to half. It's an 8-point game, 1 possession with under 7 minutes left. Tom, Chris, and Shannon.
All right, Kurt, thank you. Our game today produced by my Mark Titleman, directed by Greg Scopatone. Our associate director is Alex Olson. Broadcast associate Ian Martin. Our technical producer Michael Nathanson. Recovering well in a hospital here. Our technical director is Dane Crawford. 2-minute warning time. Welcome back to State Farm Stadium under the bright sunshine in the Grand Canyon State. We're in Glendale, Arizona. And that Taylor Swift tune they had there, Shake It Off. A lot of the Cardinal fans are going to have to do that tonight and tomorrow. Coming up, the OT presented by Lowe's. That'll be at the conclusion of this game on our doubleheader weekend here on Fox. They're going to throw it to Peterson. And he will stay on his feet, cutting it back to the inside. And across midfield, look at the 33-year-old. He put it on the ground, and did he recover it or did he turn it over? He turned it over after a huge gain. $52-yard gain.
You know, this is really not a knock, but see the space between the ball. When you see air between ball and body, then that ball becomes vulnerable. And Adrian Peterson understands in this situation, don't get the extra yards. I get it, you're a warrior. You don't have to justify your toughness and your warrior mentality to anybody in this world ever. But what you need to do in this situation, and it's a coaching point, you put two hands on that football because you're of the understanding that the Cardinals are desperate to get it from you. That's a learning point from a Hall of Famer, a coaching point that he can even take from an old linebacker like me. We're coming after the ball. Don't care what the score is. If you're getting gang tackled, two hands, please, and cover it up.
Duly noted.
Well, I can't help it.
Now, back in your days as a player, I mean, you were one of the most intense players that has ever played football. High school, you're on the cover of a Wheaties box in Massillon, Ohio. You go on to start Ohio State for the Buckeyes, All-American every year, and then you come into the NFL, Pro Bowler with the Lions. If Peterson's a teammate of yours, are you walking up and giving him that same spiel you just gave me?
No, if I was his coach, if I was his coach, yes. No, because I know what I get from Adrian Peterson. I get all he has every time. But if I'm his coach, I'm going to say, and I'm not going to yell at him and say, Adrian.
No. You're just talking about coaching.
Yeah, Adrian, you know, in that situation, and I know you know this because you've seen that happen over his career, where he's fighting for extra yards and guys coming to punch it. In that situation, that's what he's saying right now. When you're getting gang tackled in that situation, two hands on the football, please. I get it. We all love the effort. I love it. I love it more than anybody in this world. But you got to be smart in situations. It's situational football. He'll learn from it. He knows he made a mistake.
Well, he's had a nice game today, though.
He's awesome.
He's really had
surprised me.
He's rushed for 4 yards short of 100. 2 catches, and after that 52-yarder, 70 yards receiving yards. So almost 170 yards from scrimmage for Adrian Peterson today. And meanwhile, Chris Thompson, he's only touched the ball a total of 11 times in this game. And he has nearly 130 yards from scrimmage. And both Peterson and Thompson with a touchdown. Final 30 seconds from State Farm Stadium.
Cardinals will regroup. They'll get better. The guys are pros. They understand. They'll be upset and a little bit embarrassed by today's performance, and they'll come out swinging next week.
Bradford throws too high. 14 ticks remaining. Steve Wilkes used to coach, we brought up earlier, began his coaching career at Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte. Private, predominantly black, 4-year research university. And from right there, their practice facility, you could see the Panthers' home stadium. Story goes that he told his coaching mates that one day he would be coaching in the NFL. And here he is as a head coach, and that's a turnover. Ioannidis coming up with a football.
That's good for Ioannidis. Good interior pass rusher. And I love the fact, look, this new rule about driving your helmet and burying guys. I love Ioannidis coming there, removing his helmet and aiming for the football with his arms to punch it out of there. Steve Wilkes has a saying, and he had this for a long time: tack, trust, accountability, and commitment. And that will be tested on Monday when they come in and meet, or Tuesday, or whenever they meet. He's got to preach it, and they got to believe it.
The Washington Redskins, one of 4 teams in the NFL today that began this year with a new quarterback and a new running back. And a very, very impressive win behind a dominant offensive line and an outstanding effort defensively. Jay Gruden wins for the first time in a season opener in his 5 years as Redskins head coach. We're back in a moment.